Well, it's that time again with another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone. We got ROH, MLW, NXT UK, 205 Live, and New Japan Strong. So all of that will be discussed, reviewed, and talked about on this episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, matches, wrestlers, and championships. I am your host, Jay, right here. So, let's start out with Ring of Honor. As you know, this past Sunday or Monday, as you know, what happened at the event of the previous episode. Uh, the Foundation were disgusted with the events that took place at the end of the main event between La Facción Ingobernable and Flip Gordon against the Briscoes, Brody King, and PCO. So they decided to lead by example by setting up themselves along with associate members Fred Yehai and Yuta, what's his name, and Wheeler Yuta, two guys who are also wrestlers in the same kind of wrestling style, pure wrestling. So they decided to set themselves up in a six-man, which they all agreed. And of course, when everybody left except Jay White wanted to talk to Tracy, saying that let's start out the match. Now you ask yourselves why are they doing this? There's a reason why. They want pure wrestling back in its own way. But of course, they have their problems with La Facción Ingobernables who are not playing by the rules, which that's what they do. They don't play by the rules. They're not gonna tolerate with them, and that's what they are all about. But we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks leading to this. Now, the first match we had Tony Deppen taking on LSG. Now, these guys known each other pretty well. There was a match previously where LSG lost to Tony, and of course, it kind of was a bit bitter. But this match was so hard hitting that you wouldn't expect a whole lot until it was over. So Tony Deppen put a lot of effort to try to win this one, but LSJ, who's been with Ring of Honor for far too long, he had everything to gain, but nothing to lose. So basically, he's trying to prove a point, and it did allow him to win the match. Now, as you know, the recent development took place with the Briscoes. Recently, since the pandemic started, Jay Briscoe was having his little issues towards EC3, and Mark has been trying to get him to get involved in the tag team division. So basically, they've been going back and forth in this. But Quinn actually shows up, try to help them mediate, and gave an interesting metaphor, which is the boat metaphor. So basically, what happens when someone is not tossed off but fell off the ship? You have them swim back, but Jay said he doesn't swim. So basically, he had to play along. So basically, it kind of worked, and we may see them once again, maybe on the road to recapture the ROH World Tag Team titles. Now, the ROH World Title Championship is on the line in 2 weeks' time, so we have challenger Shane Taylor taking on El Toro Blanco Rouge. Now, Shane Taylor has been trying to get his hands on this title. He is more deserving, but however, is he able to pass the bull? We just gotta wait and see when we cross the bridge. Now it's main event time. The Foundation members with Team 1. We got Jonathan Gresham, Tracy Williams, and Fred Yehi taking on Jay Lethal, Red Titus, and Wheeler Yuta. Now, these are wrestlers that use pure championship style, which is something that they've been pushing and pushing, and of course, that's how it's always been. It was a great, interesting match to see teammates facing off each other, but however, is this the kind of match that do you hope that will lead by example? Because of course, there's been many problems going on within ROH with Ring of Honor. We have like Vaxin and Gorlave who are not playing by the rules. Then you got Flip Gordon who wants a shot at the world title. Then we got the whole thing with Matt Taven and what's his name? Matt Taven and Mike Bennett against Vincent and Bateman. So basically, there's a lot of things going around. But the match itself was great. But however, it was Red Titus who picked up the victory for his team. So it was a good match. But however, what does this outcome of the match will lead to? Will people follow by example, or once again we're gonna have people in the roster not playing by the rules? We just gotta wait and see. So let's move on with MLW. Alright, so Major League Wrestling had their latest ML Fusion, but this time it's Filthy Island. So if you guys don't know what the hell is Filthy Island, this is something that Tom Lawler's been doing. This is his way of trying to get in ahead to one of their enemies, the Von Erichs. Now you guys know the Von Erichs, good old Texan boys who are living in Hawaii, so they're trying to get into his head. This was months in the planning, ever since he won the Opera Cup tournament. So the first match, we see Dominic Guarini taking on this guy from the Polynesians named Mauna Lua. Basically, it was a pointless match trying to think it's all funny. And of course, it was like a piece of garbage show that what it is because not a lot of people was there. Basically, they were using like dirty sofas and all this and that. But Dominic Green won as always because he likes to cheat. Then we have a message from the current MLW World Tag Team Champions, Los Parks. Now, they're fully aware that they're being challenged by Contra Unit to obtain as much as championship gold as possible. But however, they are still baffled about who is their mystery owner from Azteca Underground. But Ellie Park, he doesn't care. All he wants to do is do right, win his matches, which is understandable. Then we got another member of Team Filthy, Kevin Koo, taking on Senshi. Basically, another pointless match, trying to prove that they're better, that violence is the best solution within MLW. And of course, Kevin Koo won by that. Now, since this thing is taking place in Hawaii, certain people decided, why not crash the party? And that party was Filthy Island. So the Von Erichs made a decision to beeline to the whole thing. And of course, Tom Lawler, not happy with hearing this. He's hoping they get arrested. Come on. Now, this match was supposed to take place in Filthy Island, but it ended up being in somewhere in the jungle in Latin America called Azteca Jungle. This was a retaliation match by Selena De La Renta to get even with Savio, who turned her down. You see, as you know, the IWA Puerto Rico refused to sell their company to her. She's not gonna take it. The match went kind of like, you know, when you lose a signal, that sort of thing. They still they were still beating each other up. But however, it was Mil Muertes won by using a some kind of metal pipe. Mm, sorry. But however, Selena De La Renta had other ideas. She told me what this to finish him. He had a shovel, and you can guess what it was. So, did Savio Vega got buried? We'll see. Now, as you know, a couple weeks ago, TJP got in an attitude problem with Bukudao due to the recent loss for the with the MLW World Tag Team titles and had an attitude with them. Even Alicia 2 wanted to get on this because she feels she wants to hear. But, of course, it's not the kid's fault that he lost, but he says one thing, then he says another. So basically, it was a pointless conversation. Now we get to a really interesting match. We got Gringo Loco versus the king of sneaky style, Rocky Romero. So, what did I thought of the match? Really great. One draw to this, I did not mention this. The entire ring, no ring ropes. So, the real question is, how will Rocky do his forever clotheslines? Well, he improvised a bit, but however, he did win the match. Great match, great moments. Even the way Gringo Loco jumped off the ring and landed on the couch where Rocky was sitting at. Great moment. Now we get to the main event, which is the King of the Knockout Part 2. Now, this match took place months ago, before the pandemic. King Mo and Low Ki got into a match, but however, that match ended with Team Filthy winning, and for months, King Mo and his manager have been trying to convince MLW to let him go, that he's not cleared to wrestle. But however, it didn't go their way. But out of blue, of course, this is what the Von Erichs will mostly worry about. Is Tom Lawler, you cannot trust him. So, he set up this match. But the match ended in a way that not even Tom Lawler could not accept it. Not even his commentating person. They even tried to beat him down when Low Ki won the match. But however, Von Erichs showed up in style in their truck and crashed the party, which was the last thing that they needed. And it was a good brawl. I liked it. It was very, very good. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the ending. So let's move on with WWE's NXT and 205 Live. Okie dokie. So we got WWE's NXT UK and 205 Live. So let's go from start to finish. The first match of the 205 Live was a Heritage Cup rules match between Shaw Samuels and the current champion A-Kid. Now, Shaw Samuels have been making headways trying to prove that he's the best wrestler that there is. But however, you have to face the guy who won the Heritage Cup. But the match went to a turn when Shaw Samuels won his first pin. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the rules, there'll be 5 rounds. You have to have at least 2 out of 3 rounds in 6 rounds or 7. There'll be 3. The time limit for each of these rounds is 3. You can win either by pinfall or submission. So the first round was won by Shaw Samuels, was shocking. Second round, it ended with no points. Third round, won by A-Kid. Third round, Shaw thought he won, but he actually did not because A-Kid hold his ground. But however, third round he actually won. A-Kid won this one. Fourth round, not even close. Shaw Samuels thought he won, but he didn't. Fifth round, went straight to A-Kid, so he won the match. Great moment. I love how this ended with A-Kid, who is bouncing back after his recent loss to Walter, but we'll see what he's going to do more. Now, the next match, we have Josh Morrell taking on the latest sensation coming from the independent scenes and all the way from Jersey Island, Ben Carter. Man, if you guys are seen this guy, you're missing out. He's a phenomenal wrestler. I can't wait to see what he can do more, but what a great match with Ben Carter. So he actually won this match. Amazing. Now, we get into a contract signing between the current NXT UK Women's Champion Kaylee Ray and, of course, the last boss of Japan, Meiko Satomura. Now, Kaylee Ray for months has been demanding to face the best wrestlers in the world. She may have it. So this was the official contract signing. Kaylee Ray has claimed that she is the forever champion, that she will never lose. But however, can she beat Meiko Satomura? Well, we may never know. That match will take place in 2 weeks' time. No, next week or so. So I'm excited for this match. Can't wait to see it. Next match, we got a women's match. Aaliyah James taking on the return of Dani Luna. Haven't seen her for quite some time, but however, she's back. There's been a lot of improvements coming out of her. Great moment. I think she did improve a lot, and this allowed her to win her match against Aaliyah James. Now, there's been a mystery what's been going on with Ginny and Joseph Connors. The real question is, why are they harassing Piper Nivens? Ginny got what she wanted, the number one contendership to be the one to dethrone Kaylee Ray. Joseph Connors decided to side with her, but now it appears they have some unfinished business with Piper Nivens. Now, the reason this happened is that Piper Nivens will never stop getting what she wants, the NXT UK Women's title, and Ginny felt she's not getting it. So basically, it looks more like she's trying to cut her off at the tracks. But what does Piper Niven have to think about Ginny and Joseph Connors' comments towards her? We'll see what happens when we hear from her. Now we get to the main event, which was in the making. Gallus leader Joe Coffey taking on Rampage Brown. What of a match. I was like, wow. Very powerful, hard-hitting. I love it. Now, Joe Coffey did stated this was his kingdom, but however, the kingdom shifted to Rampage Brown. Now, here's the way I would see it. Down the line, I'm hoping Rampage Brown gets a shot of the NXT UK Championship and hopefully, and I mean hopefully, dethrones Walter. So we'll see when that bridge comes around. Now let's move on to 205 Live. We started out with an 8-man tag team match with Kurt Stallion, Jake Atlas, Ashante the Adonis, and Mansoor taking on Bali Rise, Chase Parker, Matt Martell, Samur, and Sunil Singh. It was very interesting. Not one of the best matches, but it did show a little bit of the showcase with some of the wrestlers, like, for example, Kurt Stallion, who is really, really becoming a A very interesting person to check out. Not to mention his opportunity to face Santos Escobar to the cruiserweight, and of course his feud with the 205 originals, but he won his match for his team. Now, prior before the second match, which is the main event, Ari Daivari got his revenge on August Grayman after what happened the previous week. August Gray took his gold chain and reclaimed it with the help of Tony Nese. Now, Ari Daivari said he wasn't helping Tony Nese last time. I mean, come on, we know what happened. He weaseled away to ensure. So the match was become Ari Daivari versus August Gray, and once again, Tony Nese got in the way to ensure Ari Daivari wins and teach the newbies that put them in their place. But sooner or later, the 205 originals will fall apart. So I think that's it right now with that. So let's move on with New Japan Strong. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to review is the latest New Japan Strong Road to the New Beginning USA. So the first match started out with the killer six-man tag team match. First team, we have the DKC, Barrett Brown, Ray Horace, taking on Adrian Quest, Mysterioso, or as he's now being called, Big Papi Pump, and of course the King of Sneaky Style, Rocky Romero. Now, there was also information that Kevin Kelly posted out saying on commentary that if Barrett Brown doesn't win his match, then this will be the last time we see him in New Japan Pro Wrestling. We'll see what happens down the road. But what a great match this really was. A good six-man tag team match. I mean, apparently Kevin Kelly even likes the trio between Adrian Quest, Mysterioso, and Rocky. I have to say, he even it says that these guys should come in contact to get the never open weight six-man tag team powers. I'm like, why not? That's going to be a cool thing to watch. But we'll see when it happens. But great match. It did allow for Rocky to win his match when he applied the armbar onto Barrett Brown. Barrett had no other choice but to tap out. Now the next match, wow. A huge match. Bullet Club member and the youngest little brother and the biggest man, Hikuleo, taking on Fred Rouser. I was like, didn't know what to expect out of this match, but it was unbelievably good. But it did allow for Fred Rouser not to give in, knowing that he's facing a guy bigger than him. But of course, there's the controversial matter that was led to the outcome. When he pulled Hikuleo down, he used his hair. Now, it's unclear if the ref saw it or not. And that's how he won his match with the 1-2-3. But however, Hikuleo was not a happy person. So what he does, he grabs one of the ringside assistants and chokeslams him through the mat. So basically, he's not happy. Now, I don't know if he will demand for a rematch. We'll just wait and see what happens. Now, the main event is Lio Rush taking his revenge on El Phantasmo during the Super J Cup. We all saw what happened. If you guys haven't, you should check it out. But of course, in the process, prior before this match even started, El Phantasmo was getting in the skin of what's his name, Alex Kozlov, who's been commentating. I don't know what Phantasmo is thinking. He's retired, but is he trying to get him back so he can prove once again that he is still the best wrestler? And that's what he's been doing. He's been calling him out. But that's for another time. But this is now with the Lio Rush and El Phantasmo. Interesting match, but of course, Lio was prepared when he knew some of his tricks. But however, the latest one was when he got super kicked, sudden death. But however, he won that match in that form, and once again, he's calling out Alex Kozlov. Don't know what he wants from him, but we just gotta wait and see. And don't forget, the next New Japan Strong, the new beginning 2021 in USA, Kenta will face Jon Moxley for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. So I'll end it right here. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.